I lost 140 pounds, and I show you what I eat all the time. But this series, you guys, this is the year that I got skinny. There are so many unexpected little forks in the road, other little interventions, some may be supernatural. I don't think there's another universe where my case exists. That's how unlikely all this is. And so that is the spirit of this story series, the year that I got skinny. So buckle up, because we're going for it. Okay. Okay. They will be in little nuggetized segments because it is a very long and interesting story. Okay. And so you tell me, am I crazy? Supernatural intervention? I'm very science oriented, and so it's taken me a while to even be able to tell you these stories. Okay. So you tell me, am I crazy? Maybe I am. Okay. But just to start out, this is the intro, and so you can expect a whole series that takes us through the year of 2017 or late 2016 and through 2017, and then we end in 2018 with me being all skinny. Okay, so but I want to give you a little bit of background and tell you kind of my starting place, and a really good moment for that is actually July 5th of 2016. And so imagine that it would be the end of August and into September of 2017 when I'd really get going with a weight. So now we're 15 months before that at this point on July 5th, because it was July 4th that I began a diet, okay? For like, how many diets had I been on at that point? I was 47 years old then, and I had always struggled with my weight. And at that point on July 4th, I wasn't weighing. Don't know what I weighed, but I'm guessing that I weighed about 250. And so I was on this diet, low carb, kind of meat, eggs, cheese sort of diet. And I was on it for an entire day and a half when I just kind of looked at myself, you know, and said to myself, what are you going to do about maintaining your weight this time? And I was really blown away by that question, mainly because I'd never asked myself that question before. What? Had never asked myself that question. And I didn't have an answer. Now, so it was 2 years before that I had done a diet, and I'd lost about 40 pounds, and so got around 200-ish, something like that. Wasn't weighing. My doctor was weighing me. That's how I know I lost 40 pounds. Gained it back plus more. I mean, we've all done it. Many times, okay? And so there I was again at my high weight saying, how am I going to maintain my weight this time? And I did not have an answer. Didn't have an answer. But the interesting thing is, I remember just kind of standing there in a place like this and just being very open. What is my solution to maintenance? And so I actually stopped my diet. I was a day and a half in. That's a powerful amount of time to be in, you know? You can keep going. You can really lose real weight. I stopped, and I told myself, you have 6 months to explore the question of maintenance. 6 months. Find a solution. Really explore and evaluate. And so I was open, I was seeking on that July 5th day of 2016. Okay. Open and seeking. And in terms of my home life and professional life, so I was doing some kind of part-time contract work. I worked over the decades for government agencies as an evaluator, but in this time frame, I was mainly a mom, okay, raising my kids and doing some part-time work to just kind of keep that contractor analysis muscle going and flexing, okay? That's what I was doing. But also, I had a very big extracurricular project, and that is I was on a local school board, and that board had gone through all kinds of, it was facing bankruptcy, and that is why I joined the board. I thought I could provide input. I had worked with educational agencies. I had a good mind for budgets, though that is not my area. But, you know, I was no stranger to bureaucracies, to governments, to budgets, to all of that. And I thought, I could really help. Well, as it turns out, that task, that role on that board took me to the grand jury. Took me to them filing some things that I'd found. Okay, so I found some, let's say, creative financing in the district. And so y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I end up at the grand jury making my report. And by this time in 2016, the persons involved, the main person involved was gone. And we had a new superintendent in the district. And her name was Chris, and she was well aware, of the issues that had taken me to the grand jury and that brought her to our district. So because she replaced somebody and was beginning to rebuild the district. And so she was there and we were working together on this. And we had kind of an ongoing discussion about what our next steps were with that historical problem, let's call it, in the district. Even looking at, would we be going to the district attorney on criminal charges, for instance. And so that was my extracurricular, was very focused on that, spending a lot of time and energy on that. But now I suddenly had this new question: what would be my key to maintenance? And interestingly, the superintendent, as we worked on that project, she too really struggled with her weight. She was heavier than me. She was a little older. So she was, over 300 pounds and about 10 years older than me. And so there we were working on our project. Are we going to, the district attorney or whatever? And she's, working hard to bring the district back, to provide good services to students. So she's busy with that. And so I was really focused on all of those things. Let's see, my weight at that time, again, was about 250. And I decided, in my seeking out my maintenance solutions, that I would just start going on these trips with my kids. And so that's what I set out to do. And we would start to go on these trips. And so that was the summer of 2016. And it turns out some of those trips are where we encountered perhaps our supernatural intervention that also tied in to this whole school district thing. And so let's just all take a breath because, well, let me just say, there are key questions here that we will be answering very soon. But as I sought my key to maintenance, which a lot of you guys know, if you know my story, my big why in losing weight was hiking, and my key to maintenance ended up being hiking. And I will just give you this little nugget that a lot of you don't know. I never hiked before in my life, before this time that I'm now talking about. It's not like I was trying to recapture the sort of energy of my youth or something. I was never a hiker. What? How am I now a hiker? How is it now a key part of Eat Like a Bear? Oh, I don't know. We're about to find out, right?